everybody. I'm Danna Bailey. I am pretty much a native Chattanoogan. I've been here for most of my life. And this is my second appearance at PechaKucha. And I'm just as nervous now as I was the first time. So bear with me, but I'll go ahead and get started. I work at EPB, and you may have heard that at EPB we're working on a fiber optic network and a smart grid here in Chattanooga. And if you've read or heard much about either project, you might have some questions in your mind, like, what the heck is that? So that's what I'm going to talk to you about tonight. There are a lot of really, really smart visionary people who work at EPB. I'm not necessarily one of them. I'm not a pocket protector wearer, but these people are so smart that they've actually developed their own language, and it's made up mostly of acronyms. So what I intend to do tonight is to describe to you the project we're working on in language that everyday smart people can understand. So to start from the beginning, you may or may not know that EPB is owned by this community. In fact, we were established back in the 30s for the purpose of bringing electricity to the area so that companies could grow and jobs could be created. And we believe that the fiber optic network and smart grid that we're working on now could have as much impact in the Chattanooga area as availability of electricity did in 1935. When most people think about fiber optics, they tend to think about super fast internet. And yes, the fiber optic network we're building is allowing us to offer the fastest internet in the country. That's already having a big impact on Chattanooga, but it's just part of the story. And what I really want to tell you guys tonight about is the smart grid, the part of the story that most people don't know about and frankly don't care very much about. One of the reasons why they don't care much about it is because sometimes our acronym speaking engineer visionary friends speak about it in terms of grids like this. So they show us diagrams like this and they think this is very, very simple. They call it a cartoon. But I'm going to tell you tonight, I think, why we should care about the smart grid. The number one reason we're building the smart grid is to reduce outage time for our customers. The University of California, Berkeley has done a study that indicates that an area our size experiencing power outages over the course of a year, the cost is $107 million to the community. That's to homes and businesses in the community. That's the one thing we want to reduce. So I'll back up a little bit more and talk about what we mean by the grid. When we say the grid, we're really talking about the poles and the lines and the wires and all those things that are part of bringing electric power to your home and business. And the electric grid today is pretty much like it was when it was first built. We use the same basic technology we've always used, and we keep a really close eye on it, and we take really good care of it. So it's kind of like a car that was built a long time ago. If you took really good care of it, it would probably still work. But you'd be missing a lot of the things that have made transportation by car more reliable and more predictable, like computers that allow the car to identify problems before you're stuck on the side of the road. And that's what we're doing with the smart grid. We aren't changing the basic principles about electric power, but we're still using the same equipment we've always used, but much like new cars still use engines and steering wheels and gas tanks, but we're putting in communications and computers that allow the grid to work better and more reliably. To update our car, we started by building this fiber optic network. The same communications network that's used to deliver the world's fastest internet will be used as the backbone of EPB's true smart grid. We completed the network in February of this year. In short, fiber optics are laser-generated pulses of light that travel over hair-thin strands of glass fiber. There's no faster way to transmit data. We're still using the aluminum lines we use to transmit the power, but the new fiber optic network allows different devices along the electric grid to communicate in almost real time with each other and with us and with customers. So now that the fiber network is built, we've started adding these devices. We believe, and we're proving right now, that we'll be able to reduce outage time for our customers by 40% once the entire smart grid is complete. The most notable device we're adding, and our engineers think this is really beautiful, it's called an interrupter. It's a computer and we're installing over 1,000 of these across our network, and they actually work together to communicate with one another to reroute power when there's an outage. So the way they work is they're traditionally, you can think of them like, they open and close pathways for electric power. So you can think of it much like a drawbridge. When the path is open, like the drawbridge is now, power cannot flow through. When the path is closed, when the drawbridge is closed, power can flow through. So these computers, these interrupters, they open and close, they talk to each other using the fiber, and they open and close all over the system, isolating problems and restoring power for people more quickly. The true smart grid isn't going to stop storms from coming, but it is going to help us get the power back on faster, and that really is the power of the true smart grid that we're so excited about. Another one of the devices that's going to go along the smart grid is the smart meter. It really works the same as an old meter. It just can use the fiber optics communication to talk to us and talk to customers and talk to other devices along the network. One of the things this means is that you won't have to call us anymore and tell us if there's an outage. We'll know instantly, and we'll be able to get to work finding out what the problem is and fix it. Now, whenever there's new technology, some folks are always afraid of it, right? So there have been some people who've come up and said, I'm a little bit worried about this smart meter. Is it dangerous? If you have a laptop, a TV, a cell phone, a microwave oven, if you have any of those things, you are in more danger from those things than you will be from the smart meter on the side of your house. Another thing that the smart meter allows you to do, it works much like a heart rate monitor. So you can monitor your power usage in real time, all the time, and if you want to revise it, if you want to do something different, you'll have the opportunity to do that, to change your usage or change your behavior for the result that you want. In addition to the positives that I've mentioned tonight, the smart grid, as well as access to the fastest internet, are having positive impacts on economic development in our region already. The true smart grid and EPB fiber optic services are not the only reason, but they are one of the reasons why a third of the new jobs that have come to Tennessee this year are in the Chattanooga-Hamilton County area. Anyway, I'm out of slides now, but I thank you for being here. I'm not the pocket protector geek, but I have so much respect for them, and they're such visionaries, and they're doing so many great things. I'm proud to be in Chattanooga, and I think we have a lot to look forward to.